Fucking right, boys. Alrighty, we're back. Back in the shop with the next project. And it's not this. But actually that is kind of going to be a project because tonight I went to take it to the local, well not quite local, but one of the weekly car meets. And yeah, accessory bracket just decided to fucking go bye-bye. If you've watched enough of the videos, you know that's the second time that bracket's broken. So just can't handle the supercharger torque or whatever the fuck's going on there. My guess is rev limiter. Shaking the engine, broke it. Who knows? But yeah, the next project is upon us. And you probably wouldn't have expected it. 79 Lemans, 4-door special. I have already dug into it a little bit, as you can see. So that's why I'm getting a little footage now before I get too far ahead. This is what we're looking at, the free G-body from BC G-body girl T there. And here it is. Apparently the guys said when I was loading it, the kid was gonna make a race car out of it, and it's got the big old fatty tires on the back and the little ones on the front. So it kind of has that look. But yeah, it's been a while since we looked at this car. This taillight I actually need for my old, the other 79 that I have, the one that's complete and drivable and kind of good. So I need that taillight and that little quarter extension piece there, just because it's beat up on the other car. But so far I've gone and pulled all the heater box and everything. Pulled it all nice and neat and salvageable. Got some headers down there that were on here. Got a notched cross member already that was in this car for dual exhaust, which is why the floor is kind of pushed up. Drive shaft and all that's in there. Ripped the hood off, obviously. And then the old 267, yanked that out and the tranny out the other night. That, I don't know, 4.5 hours or something, I had this thing all ripped out. And this thing's actually fairly solid and clean. Like, look at all this, it's just nice. Like, I did a degrease and a clean in here and it came out pretty good. But when we pulled this thing out of the field, I remember putting it in the field having brakes. So I pulled it out not thinking nothing, just pulled it to the teetering point, pushed it, jumped in, and holy shit if this thing didn't have brakes coming down the hill. And I had a choice to make, either ride it out and take the corner at the bottom sort of halfway through the driveway, or crank it hard while I could up into the field. And I chose the field. So we went bombing up in the field and just stopped up there, and then I had to tow it all the way back down here. So me and the kid did that. But that was exciting. Could have made some good footage if I had the camera rolling there, but I didn't. But anyways, that's the next project right now. I'm not going full make it nice. I'm just going use what I got kicking around, which happens to be, some of it's pretty nice shit, my old motor from the Rego and stuff. And I just want to make something I can take out in the back roads here and just have a fucking blast with, because there's no other fun like blasting a car sideways down the dirt roads and not giving too much of a fuck. Like, I don't want to wreck it. It's still, you know, I still like it, but I still want to have fun. And then maybe this can morph into a cheap ass drag car and we got it and lighten it up, and it's a G-body still, so technically A, yes, but whatever. Here's the little 267 we pulled out of it. I did give it a degrease and spray down too, just so I don't have some ball of grease kicking around. But You can see somebody's painted this thing, and then here's the original turquoisey type green color that I actually like that color on the engines. But somebody's painted the pan and all down the side here, so it's like, did they do that in the car, or did someone rebuild this engine? I don't know. Don't see a lot of that blue back here. This is all original blue. Funny how the 267 actually says 267 on it right there. Cast in. Like, I don't think you see that on any of the other small block Chevys. Fixed fan on there. Looks like a decently new fuel pump or newer, but we fired it up actually before we pulled it out of there, just dumping fuel down the carb. It wouldn't pick it up from the tank, but who knows if this thing has anything left in it. And this is what we plan on putting in. The legendary heart of the Regal from back in the day. All those first burnout videos on the channel are this motor in the Regal. So yeah, aluminum headed, 60 over, 350 4-bolt main out of an 80 to 85 Chevy truck. It's decked. We got a, was it a Holly Torquer intake? I don't even know. 750 double pump. Might not be double pump. 750 Holly carb, I think. And then what's it got? Scat crank, Lunati rods, or Lunati cam. Probably Eagle rods and Eagle pistons. I can't remember. I got it written down somewhere. But I rebuilt that thing. Probably this, I don't know. I don't even think it's got 2 oil changes on it, because I blew the rear end in that car. Then I had the Camaro and I had that car sat and blah, 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 blah. And then when I started running the Regal again with the LS, I took this out. But this should be a good running motor. Hopefully the carb isn't all gummed up. I used to run the old boat fuel, marked fuel, because it was premium and it was cheap, and you can see the dye sort of leaking out of the carb here and there. But there used to be the stores in the little towns, and they didn't give a shit what they sold. You just pumped your gas and went. So that brought them a lot of our business. Cheaper premium, at least we thought. So yeah, what's going on with this tonight? I just pushed it in here because the brakes aren't working. Like I said, this thing was dry and fucking full of like a rust sludge. Come on. So I brake cleaned it out and swished it around in the holes, and it wouldn't stop producing this rusty color schmutz. So I actually pulled the whole master out and blew air in and out and push and did all that and put it back in, put brake fluid in, got a tiny bit of front brakes. I went to bleed the back brakes. The freaking bleeder snapped right off. So typical brake nightmare in an old rig. I picked up a brand new Master. This thing was like $78. So I couldn't say no. I mean, that other one's likely just shot. And I don't know if I'm supposed to be blowing air, high pressure air in all the orifices, and it was going in this way and out the line holes and in the line holes and out the fucking feed thing. So who knows if I wrecked it. And then I did grab a couple wheel cylinders for the back. So it looks like we're digging into brakes on this thing, and I figure I might as well get all the small shit around done before I plop the engine and trans in there, because that's just more shit in the way. So far, I thought this was going to be a quick slap and go job, but here it's turning into a bit more than that, like usual. And the biggest thing is the brakes, and then the exhaust. It already has dual Flowmaster exhaust with notch crest member, everything. I get down there and looking, it's all rusted out. So we'll be needing some new little header flanges down there because those are rusted out around the edge, and then the pipe's rusted and almost ready to break. So yeah, and I don't want to run just open headers because it's just a little obnoxious. I'd like to go have fun and not piss too many people off. Not that there's that many people back up in the back roads here, but you know what I'm saying? Be nice to just have a good sounding exhaust and have fun and do that. So that's the next project, if you want to call it that. It's actually on the board too. Lemans, the Ronchy Ponchy. Yeah, that'll be fun. So back in the shop another night. Oh wait, where's my beer? I figured I'd give you a quick update on this project because I haven't been filming every little knick-knack and thing I've been doing. But I left off with the brakes on the car, and in typical fashion, they spiraled out of control. Changed the master, bench bled it, tried to just go like that and see if I'd get lucky and have brakes. Not a chance, just right to the floor. Nothing. So proceeded with trying to do the rear cylinders, rear brake cylinders. That quickly turned into snapping the brake lines in the back. The nut broke free from the brake cylinder, but it just wouldn't break free from the line. Heat, spray, all that shit. Eventually, I just said, screw it. Twisted them right off, both sides, right at the cylinders, both twisted off. Luckily, there's a pinion leak or something. All the block where they meet on the diff was covered in greasy, oily dirt, and those came out really nice. So I didn't have to chase from there up to the distribution block and stuff. But yeah, I got all new lines in the back there and brake cylinders, and I just copied the old ones, did the best I could do at bending these to the same shape. And where the old ones had spring wrapped around them, I put some vacuum hose wrapped around these ones. Just, I guess it's probably for where they bounce on the against the metal. And yeah, came out pretty good. Had to cut one and flare it, and no leaks. So got those put in, and then proceeded with the bleeding procedure. So, whatever, bleeding brakes. All of that went pretty well. I got nice fresh fluid on both brakes. This one over here was really sticky. I didn't even bother with wiggling all the springs and all that shit in there. I just did what I had to do and put it back together, and actually broke one spring. Luckily, some of the old Jimmy parts again. There's a coffee tin of just labeled brake parts. Look in there, boom, the one spring I needed was in there. So perfect. Gotta love that shit. Yeah, so rear brakes bled back together and working, adjusted. Had the kid push the brakes and I spun, and everything, it did good. And then it came up to bleed the fronts. This one, it was tight, but it broke free and I bled it out. And we did have a little bit of front brakes before anyways, so I figured not too much to worry about up in the front. But I mean, this thing was dry, bone dry. So yeah, did that one. Went to bleed this one, and everything I had to break that bleeder would not break that bleeder. So I said, you know what? We're not bleeding this side. And so far, so good. The brake pedal is just rock hard firm right from the top. And we got brakes on all four corners. See if it's still firm after a couple days of sitting. Oh yeah, just feels like your regular brakes when your car's turned off. So that's good. We fixed one problem. Couple other things I did. I got an old sign, traced it out on cardboard for the heater box cover, and plugged it on there and realized I fucking cut it on the wrong side because I wanted the old sign facing out. So now I taped it off and put squares, and I'm going to do the old school white and black checker just for something. I'm having a hard time staying away from the detaily type shit because that's just like what I love to do. I got to remind myself this is a thrasher, so stop doing that. But yeah, I thought it would have been cool to have the old caution sign hazard on there, but got a few old junker signs like that I'll use for the floor pans and whatnot because there's a bit of rust in there. But yeah, I did that. I also went and sliced that lip in multiple places and then folded it over because that's like an inch of clearance all around there for your bow housing bolts and just all that. And then there's the 3 crazy sharp screws down here. I cut the ends off because those always slice your hands when you're doing headers and all that shit. Just some small stuff and some hack job shit, right? But it's good because it gives us more room for everything we need to do. Other than that, not a whole bunch of progress. Been working all week. So that's where we're at. Got the brakes done and that and this and that. So tonight I'm gonna cut this out, cut the masking out and peel each square however I can, and then do that and possibly drop the engine in. I gotta just check my cover my ass, make sure I'm not forgetting anything, but I don't think so. Just drop her in and go. It's a little bit hard with this rubber matting and the engine hoist and stuff, and no one else to help me. But it's not my first rodeo, so we'll get her done. But yeah, figured I'd touch back before I got too far ahead and forgot everything I did. And that's where we're at tonight with the Ronchy Ponchy. Yeah, kind of excited. And I just realized the kid is drawing on my car. Leo, you little shithead. Okay, let's get to work after a beer. Alrighty, we're back. Firewall, looking cool. But the main event is small block 350, actually 360, hanging, ready to go in. Don't think I've forgotten anything that I needed to do before, but we'll soon find out. Just got her hanging by the back of the heads here. Not putting too much pressure on anything. Hopefully I can get it high enough. Front of the heads, had to pull the alternator. Fuck all, really. You can see the old boat fuel dye in there. Yeah, so let's give it a shot and see how this goes on the rubber mat that so awesomely buckles, but I really do love it, having it. See what we get anyways. Probably have to let some air out of the front tires or maybe use the hoist to just kind of bring the back of the car up. That always helps a bit. Not supposed to do that on your hoist, but that's your hoist. Definitely the tires got to go down, so let's start with that. I've even taken the tires off before and then jacked it up and just let it rest down on the jack to get it even lower. I don't know what you look at that. Just slides right in. Now look at that. Are we touching A-arms? Yep. Now what are we hitting? The tire? Yep. Gonna fall right in. Wow. I think that literally just fell into place. We'll see if the bolts slide right in, but oh, there we go. I lied. The classic. Sitting up on top of that ear down there. She needs some prying. Ooh. That side went in so nice. This side. That side just fell in too. Now we're talking. Distributor is not touching, so that's nice. It would have with the cap, and it will if I let off of this, so I gotta be careful. I'll have to use this to sag the engine down to get all the bell housing bolts. I never really liked putting them in together, maybe with a buddy and better lift, but I don't know. It's not that bad. Yes! Can you believe it? Fucking engine hasn't had a home for like 7 years since the LS swap in the Regal. It actually looks cool. Yes, excitement level notched up by 3. Still need a rad. Might have one in that old Malibu up there. Not quite sure, but I know I got one somewhere. Even if I have to rob it out of a more complete car, I will, depending on the condition. But yeah, cool. I'll see about getting these motor mount bolts in and stuff, and then that will satisfy me for tonight. That's a decent little night. We're just sitting right at midnight. Checker plate actually looks pretty good. All right, welcome back to the shop. Another night putting in a little bit of time. Actually, since the last time you've seen this, I got a few things done. The engine's just sitting in there, motor mount bolts are loose, but I have plumbed in the fuel. Just used some old braided line that I had. This is the old filter, I'll put a new one in. Had to get a couple different angled fittings, a couple 90s down there. I don't know how I made this work in my old Regal without having those, because that fuel line was running right into the frame and I must have just had it majorly kinked. But put a 90 there and the 90 coming up to go through all this stuff, and that should work as long as this stuff doesn't leak. I don't know how well these hose clamps clamp over this, but I mean, it's just rubber inside, so I used the biggest ones because I wanted more clamping force. So it kind of looks goofy, but this thing isn't about looking good. It's about working fucking good. So we got the fuel plumbed in. We got, power steering. That was a bit of a bugger. Learning some G-body shit here. These cheap ass, or the shittier of the steering boxes, I don't know what they're called. It's got a 605 on it. But you can always tell just from the way it looks here, it's much different. I'll just go right to the Regal actually here. Show you, that motor is out of the Regal. You can't barely see it, but it's quite a bit different looking. It has that like bolt-on cap sort of deal. That's like aluminum compared to this like flat cap looking thing that, from my experience, usually leaks oil from around that edge. Anyways, it's different, and it has a different type of fitting with like an O-ring type in it. It's not just a flared fitting like the fast ratio style in the Regal there. And I got to looking. This hose, the low pressure is just clamped on to the rubber line and goes to the back. So that was no problem. I just pulled that off of the 267 there and cut the factory GM clamp, cut a little snippet off the hose, get rid of some old shit, and then put some hose clamps on there. Boom, fix that. But the one in the back, I pulled it out and it was flared as well. And the one on the 267 for this box had the O-ring style. And I was thinking, well, shit, do I have to switch the pump over? And just by accident, there's a nut thing on the back. I broke it off, and there's these two fittings. They just come out of the back of the power steering pump, and they work for each type of hose. So one's the flared and one's the O-ring. So boom, switch that fitting out in the back. It's kind of like spring loaded. It popped out, and I don't know, just pushed it back in, threaded it in, got the hoses, proper hoses in here for that steering box. So now got power steering, filled it up, worked the wheel, and yeah, I think that's about all I've done. Everything else you've already seen. We got a few gauges from old cars that I've bought over the years, and we're just using shit off the shelves, man. Like, I'm telling you, I got enough of it up there, and I even got more. But that's where we're at so far. I think tonight I'm gonna just think about what I need to do next, and possibly start preparing for the transmission install. I have to get that out of the other shop. I have a totally rebuilt Turbo 350 that I had built years ago when we did the Bronco transmission, just because I guess I thought I had money or something and I'd use it someday, but I guess I am going to use it someday. That'll be the perfect trans for this. Nice rebuilt shift kit Turbo 350. And yeah, that's where we're at tonight. And that's where we got to the other day. I did sort of make a list. I'll have it in 3 days. Frickin' project's turning into an actual project now. But we should have her done by winter. Oil pressure, all the gauges we got to do eventually. Oil pressure and temp at least. I could care less about volts, really. I got to get a steering shaft, proper steering shaft bolt, because this car didn't have it. They took it out to move the car, and they never put that proper one in there. So I'll just steal one out of I just bought a 4-door Malibu out of this junkyard that's getting torn apart. It's an absolute piece of shit, but it'll have little parts like that I need. We need a rad and the rad hoses, which that car doesn't have, of course. So I'll probably steal that from another car. Tranny cooler. I got a spare one that came with a big block Ford 460. Actually, there's a video of me firing that thing up on the ground way back. So I got a big old tranny cooler out of that I'll put in. I got a spool for the 7.5 rear end we're going to put in, just a mini spool. Hopefully it works. Never done one before. And if not, we'll just weld the shit out of it. Yeah. Nothing much else, really. That 4-door Malibu will provide a bench seat for this too. I was going to try and squeeze the one out of the Buick LeSabre, but we measured and it's 5 inches bigger. So yeah, getting some stuff done, little things here and there, and we'll see you on the next update. hopefully we got some real progress done. If that tranny goes in, that'll be exciting. I can't wait to fire this thing. It hasn't fired in 7, 8 years. It's gonna be awesome. Alrighty, back in the shop another night. Successful night, we'll call it. Tranny transmission is in in its hole. I set out tonight to get the transmission installed, and I did just that. We got the lines hooked up. We got the cross member in. This car had a notched cross member, kind of ugly welds, but hey, it's a notched cross member, so that's good. Helps out with clearance on dual exhaust. Speedo cable. We got our $50 torque converter installed. It had just the slightest extra pullout than what I would have liked to see. I think 1/8 inch is sort of generic amount, and this seemed to me like it was a bit more, but we'll run with it and see what happens. Put the dipstick in, went the extra mile to make sure I got all the bolts through the holders, the eyes of the holders for the dipstick and for the starter wire shield, and on the top of the bell housing, the wiring harness. That kind of small shit I like to do. Just notice now, this transmission I had built, I think 2019, has a pan with a drain on it. Kind of silicone-y, kind of sketchy, but that's handy. And yeah, we're making steps. Transmission's in. Not bad for pretty much having broken ribs. I don't know what the hell I did here, but did the fuel filters in the Dodge the other night and fucking could hardly breathe getting up, but managed to get the tranny installed, and that was honestly one of the smoothest transmission installs, other than the one time I forgot to put the flex plate on the engine. That fucker slid right in. Didn't know why until I knew why, but this was the smoothest install I've had in a long time. By myself too, just jacked it up on the jack real high, brought the car down, went in, man. Yeah, making progress. Making progress. Now we can work on headers, get the starter hooked up. These things are pretty rotten thin. Or the other one, yeah. Real thin. So those might hold together long enough to get to the exhaust shop. I think I might take this in and get Dakota to just flange these exact same pipes up. Maybe put an H pipe in it. I don't know. That just makes it a bit harder to take apart, you know, because then you got this H pipe welded in, it connects this one to that one, and then these are welded, and then you got to take the whole fucking thing out as a unit. You can't spread them like you do right now with the true dual, so who knows. Anyways, that's the progress for tonight. Another night down in the shop. Camera's going crazy. Probably got down here probably around 9-ish. And so 3 hours, 10, 11, 12, 3 hours, transmission's in there and all hooked up. Not bad. Progress is progress. And we're back. There's my face. Another night in the shop. Spent a couple hours last night, a couple hours tonight, knocking some small things off the list. Drive shaft is in. Cleaned up, repacked some grease in the needle bearings. My sweet exhaust is hooked up. I was reluctant to hook it up how it was, but fuck it. I just hooked it up. We're pretty rusted out on the flange on this. Even the header flanges are getting thin. Like, look right there. It's a tiny hole, so I'm not sure what we're going to do about that. Maybe cut that off. I don't know if there's even enough material to weld to in there. We might just run those till they blow completely out and then use the good ones. Pretty thin right there. Anywhere there was welds is really, really thin. So this abortion here is, it was all cracked except one spot, and it was like 2 washboards away from breaking off. Now it's at least like a couple kilometers away. My TIG welding skills are shit. It's dirty metal. It's dirty everything. There's almost no metal, so I blew through. I did make a couple connections. Like, that's a good weld. I got 1, 2, 3 little pieces of metal connecting this side to this side, just to make that crack last long enough. I know it's going to sound like shit because of that, but who cares? For what we're doing right now, that'll be in. And it'll sound okay and better than open headers. Yeah, I guess you could say I'm happy with that. The headers was a bit of a job, right? That's always something, getting those in. But yeah, headers are in. Nice, good old rusty set of headers. Still hanging in there. Bit of a bugger with the dipstick bolt and starter wires down there, pretty close. Where's my light? But everything's doing good. It's far enough away, should be okay. Had that gasket was still good on my head, so I left it on. It was stuck to the head. I had one more of those old school Remflex headers or header gaskets, so I put it on that side, and we're good. That's my little spacer deal there with a longer bolt. That's what I had on this engine in the other car, so squeeze that back in there, and we're good. Had to put a temp sender in because I wasn't sure it was going to clear this flange, and I actually did clearance it a little bit before I did go ahead and put the headers in. But yeah, little things. There's my sweet set of gauges. Still no oil line or anything. I got to do oil pressure and lots of little things. I think I cleaned up a bit of wiring and whatnot too. But yeah, a couple hours here, a couple hours there. We got exhaust hooked up now. So making our way closer and closer to starting this thing. I wish I had a rad. I'm looking for a rad on Marketplace, just a Chevy rad. I found a few, but see what we can do. They're about $100 there, and if not, I thought I could pull something out of one of the cars in the field, and then I thought, oh, perfect. The LeSaber's out there already, air-conditioned carb, thicker rad, but they're like 3 feet, 35-inch rad or whatever in those things, in the B body. And this thing, it won't fit. So regardless what it is, it won't fit. Measured, it won't even fit between the front frame rails in this thing. It's too bad, because I thought that would be perfect, free, and the car's already down here. That Malibu doesn't have a freaking rad. I guess there's a few cars that have shown up here on the property I haven't even done videos on yet. I think I got a Malibu, Caprice, another Delta 88, sorta. But yeah, that's progress for tonight, and continue on when we get a chance. Can't wait. Hey, you want to go me? Hey, we're back. So last night I was down here getting a bit of work done and got the radiator completely plumbed in, hooked up, mounted, all the little rubbers, the fan shroud. Got a trans cooler tucked down in behind there. It's hard to see, but it's in there. That just came on that old Ford big block and transmission combo I bought a while back. It's just been sitting around, so I figured perfect. Sort of Jimmy rigged her in, just hose clamped the lines over the existing metal lines, but should be okay. I guess we don't have any alternator belt yet. Something we should figure out in water pump. Just put the cap and plugs in, or plug wires and all that. I can't remember how I had this cap. It's kind of weird the way it is, but let's hope that's how it's supposed to be. Because we're fixing up to do a first fire in 7 years, eh? You don't have your mic? That's all right. We can still hear you. Yep. First fire up. You got the mini funnel so we can fill the bowls. We got to finish adding antifreeze. Finish adding antifreeze to this. But yeah, wired up the alternator, I think is right. Choke. What else have I done? I don't know. I guess we got a big vacuum leak to plug on the back here, but we're getting real close to giving this thing a first fire in a long time. So stay tuned, I guess, and we'll see if it makes noise. I'm planning on just getting it to make some noise in here, and if it does a little bit, then I know I got my cap in the right spot. I think I do anyways. And then we'll back it out and fire it up and add coolant and tranny fluid. It's brand new transmission, so that's got to be topped up. I only got about 4 liters in there right now, so we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, we're real close. We got an alternator belt. We got transmission vacuum. We got power brake vacuum hooked up. We got the alternator belt. We got fuel coming up to the carburetor now. I just seen it squirt in. We dumped 20 liters, big jerry can in the tank. I haven't heard any pop or fart yet, so I'm starting to lean towards we don't have spark or something weird. But we'll see. Leo, got a pee? Okay. Yeah, we are right at the let's see if this thing starts time. And this is where we find out all the things we forgot. Probably put some more antifreeze in it before we go. Just overfilling the coolant. Okay, well, we know we got fuel up to the carb, so I guess we'll give her a shot, buddy. Yeah, get your seat ready there. Much better. Junker. Okay, get ready to turn it off after if it starts, okay? Just let's see if she goes a little bit. Yeah. No. Try again. Okay, we're not getting spark for some reason. It would have fired by now if it was going to fire. There's lots of fuel going in there. So we're not getting spark for some reason. Why? See if it actually starts this time. We know we do have a bit of a fuel leak, but let's see. Hold it. No. Would have started by now. We got power to here. What did we do wrong? I know I ripped that apart before, so maybe I forgot to put something back together in that. We'll be back. More troubleshooting. Alrighty. Back down here with the no spark issue. I've been playing around last night and tonight, and I've gone over a thing or two in the ignition system. So I've swapped coils, nothing. I've sanded, I've cleaned, I redid all the grounds, nothing. Couldn't get it to fire, so 12 volts, well 13 volts at this plug, and it gets voltage when it's cranking. I didn't check how much, but I assume decent voltage. The light was kind of dimming as it was turning over. I was getting stumped. The last thing I could think of, obviously, was the ignition module in these things. So I bought one, fucking $300, and I still believe that this might work. I'd love to put it back in, but I think we got it where we need to be. I put the new ignition module in, turn it over, nothing. Not a pop, not a fart, not nothing. So I'm like, well, what the hell? How is it? Put the timing light on plug one, turn it over, watch the timing light flash. I knew I was getting spark, at least through the wires. So I'm thinking, how could all 8 plugs be dead? Is that even a thing? But pull the plug out. Well, first I put a different plug in one of the wires and seen spark coming out. So I knew we had spark going through the wires. So I pulled the plug out, did it the same way with one of the actual plugs and spark. So weird. Still turning over, nothing. Pumping fuel, nothing. Thinking, what is going on here? So I pop this valve cover off and go to turn it over. I hear one pop. Like, oh, what the heck? So I'm watching. I was thinking maybe the lifters were empty and not filling up and not moving the valves. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of anything. What's going on? Like, why won't this thing fire with spark and fuel? I'm thinking compression, right? But yeah, spark there with that plug. So then I put that back in, and where was I? Oh yeah, I had the valve cover off. Turn it over again, nothing. So then I get in and I'm pumping, turn it over, couple farts. Holy shit, we're getting somewhere. And then I keep doing that, pumping it. Finally, it kind of and I stopped there because Leo specifically told me he wanted to see this thing fire up. So technically, I've fired it, but it hasn't ran. So we're gonna wait till the morning, and hopefully nothing happens overnight, and it fires up in the morning. I put a bunch more trans fluid in there, tranny oil, because it did suck some of it up just with all the turning over. So we got to remember we got to fill that, and coolant's pretty much full, but it'll burp some air out. I think we might be moving this thing under its own power tomorrow. Yes, very good. And this ignition module is actually different than the one I just bought, and I was worried, but I think that's an upgraded style or something maybe, because I remember buying this one way back, because I actually blew one in this before back in the day. I remember that. But anyways, that's what we're using, and it seems to be working. I really want to put this back in now and confirm that it's bad. Not that it matters. Once you open electronic parts, you're not taking them back. But I'd like to know that if it was just me cleaning up all the grounds and just never did get the fuel going into it good enough until now. I don't know. I did tap on the carb too a few times, but I'm positive I didn't have spark yesterday. I was checking everything, but now I got myself second guessing myself, wondering, did I pull a plug out and did I watch it? And why didn't I put the timing light on yesterday? but whatever. If it runs, it can just stay like that. Yes, awesome. Just a hint of exhaust smell in the air. So can't wait. All right. Beautiful morning we got here. And what are we going to try and do? Start the Ronchy Ponchy. I got it to pop and fart and fire a little bit last night, buddy. So we're going to roll it out today. I'm quite confident it's going to fire right up.
The Regal has the same lights as this.
Yeah, they're similar. Yeah.
They're similar, but yeah.
What do you say we push this thing out so we don't smoke out our shop, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the alarms will go off.
Yeah, you never know. Smoke alarms?
Smoke alarms.
I just got to top up the trans, I think. I put a bunch more in last night. And keep pushing, you'll get it. Oh, wait, there's wheel chocks, buddy. You get the chocks out of there. Good trying, though.
It'll roll.
Yeah? No, it's in park. It's got a transmission now. But yeah, let's get this thing out of here and see what we can do.
We both have wheel chocks in this puppy.
Yeah.
What do you think when we do this?
Well, I think I'll just put it in neutral, roll it out, and we'll hook the battery
I'll
up.
help you roll it out.
That should be neutral. Nothing behind the wheels.
Nothing behind the wheels.
All right, here it goes.
Here it goes, puppies. She's stiff wheeling right now. Watch out. Okay, put it in park.
We'll get it out a little ways more.
Well, puppies, what do you think of this new car? Pretty nice car.
All right, grab the gimbal. You can do the film for a bit.
Yeah. Raunchy Ponchy starting. Dad got the raunchy old Ponchy starting.
Raunchy old Ponchy. Back her up a bit.
Nice lights, though.
You like those, eh?
Yeah, we could also use the grill lights for another car.
Yeah.
Malibu. Cool. Hooking the battery up.
Yeah, getting the positive hooked up here. We're gonna have to watch for leaks, and we did have one fuel leak, but Dad fixed that. Luckily, I bought some extra rubber hose because the braided stuff I had just leaked. Looks like we're down on antifreeze a bit. Not much, but a bit.
Not much, but a bit.
Do we need an air filter? Not right now, I don't think.
We don't need an air filter, Dad.
No.
Did you put an antenna on this thing?
Nope, came like that. Okay, ready for this?
Yeah, don't start until I get a film of the mufflers.
Okay, stand back a little bit. Right about here is probably good. You want me to get a shot of the muffler?
Yeah.
I can put it right under there.
Yeah, put it right under there, Dad. Put it right under there. Yeah, and leave it like that. And then when it starts...
Okay, let's try it.
I'll look at... We'll see.
There it goes. Cold start.
Cold start on the old puppy.
Oh! Fired right up. Stalled again, but that's all right. She's a runner! Idling on her own. Smoking a bit, but it's been quite a while since it's ran, and I did oil down the cylinders, so easy on the gas, buddy. Feels like it's missing on one or two. Yeah, I gotta check the trans oil here. We don't want to blow up our new tranny. A lot of stuff to watch over here. Don't see any fuel leaks anymore, so that's good. Oh, we got nothing on there. Shut her off, bud. Shut her off. Yeah, let me add some more transmission. That's one thing I don't have, Leo, is a bunch more transmission oil. So if we don't have enough here, we might be making a quick trip to town. Like, it was way on the dipstick before, and now it's not even on there. So we got to be careful. We got a brand new transmission in here that we don't want to mess up. Brand new Turbsky 350. And there's only like...
I can't believe it when the dipstick is in there and it's still silver and it's not doing it. I can't believe this puppy still runs.
Yeah, well, it'll run with no oil in the transmission, but it won't drive, and it could wreck your transmission.
Oh?
That's probably not enough, which sucks, because we got a big transmission cooler. Let's check the
antifreeze?
pipes. Firing on that one. 8. Oh yeah, firing. Ooh, hot. Firing. Hot. Ooh, hot. Very hot. And hot. Okay.
I'll start her again. She'll start.
Might be able to start it, but man, I think we're really low on transmission. Let me check it first before we start it.
I'll see if it's all the way to 800.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Go ahead, start it quickly. I'm gonna actually put it in gear this time.
I'm sitting on the seat.
We got gear. Yeah, shut her down, buddy. Shut her down. Kill it. Perfect. Yeah, we got to get more transmission oil. That was a dumb move on my part yesterday. We were at the parts store. 15 minutes to town, bud. Let's roll.
Dad,
Yeah.
2 of the gauges aren't working.
The temperature gauge will come up once the engine warms up, but we need transmission oil first. And then the oil pressure gauge, that one's working. And the volts, I haven't hooked up the volts yet. They don't really matter. Sweet! We got a runner! Bam, mother.
Boo, 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 boo.
It sounds good, actually, eh?
Ooh.
It actually runs pretty good. And it's running how I expected.
Okay, yeah,
We better go get some transmission oil. We're too excited to not. It did go in forward and reverse though, but there's nothing on the dipstick, so we gotta do that. Looks like we sucked in a bunch of antifreeze too, so we got room for more of that in the radiator. We'll put some more of that in.
let's see.
You want to see?
It sucked some in, that's alright, guys. But, yeah.
Guess we'll go get some more oil.
Dad, you said I could do the talking now.
Oh, all right. We're back. So, after running it for a bit, it's kind of not running perfect, but it's running okay. Smoking, as you've seen out the passenger bank a little bit, but hazards are on. Don't kill my battery, boy. Need that for our drive. But yeah, the main issue that came up was a transmission oil leak, and that was coming right from down there on the hose connections to the cooler. I believe it's just from the hose connections, so I took it, snipped some off, put it on so it's fresh hose.
Guess what? When the plug-in thing's not in, the blinkers still work.
The hazards work, yeah. Turn them off, killing the battery. We're about to go for a drive. But yeah, not too bad. Transmission oil leak. Otherwise, I think we're safe to kind of try it out here. So that's what we're going to do. Mostly we're going to see if that leak is fixed. And hopefully it is.
I didn't know you can still hear the hazards.
Yeah, the relay was going. You want to jump in? Hold this camera for a sec. We'll back this thing out of here. Go, doggy. Yeah. Feels good.
Yeah.
We're gonna see if that trans leak is fixed. Then we got to get some seats in this thing.
Yeah.
We can actually go have some real fun. There's only so much you can do on milk crates. You have a little power steering leak in that. Oh, she's dorky, bud. This thing will do a burnout for sure. It feels like it's missing just on one, eh? It was idling better earlier. There, don't touch it. Oh, you're gonna die again, maybe. Cool. Come on, baby. Here, bud, hold this for a bit. And mess with the timing a bit. There we go. Need to be advanced or something a little bit. Now she's purring. Popping and farting a little bit. Smoking a little bit. This thing never used to smoke, so. I think this will let her heat up. Go through a good heat cycle here. We're not leaking on our connections in the tranny cooler anymore down there. Still cold. leaking on our temperature sensor down there. Piece of crap. Yeah, there's a drip there. That sucks. I got more, so we can figure that out. It's weird because it's all loose in there. Ow. Yeah, we're definitely leaking there. And we got our power steering leak down there. Oil on top of the thing there. And yeah, so a bit of a coolant leak over on that temperature sensor, but otherwise I think we're good to go. Wonder if we're charging or not. Checker McThinger. And I'm going to get you to just give the engine some small revs. Not till I say, buddy. Oh yeah, I don't even give her a little rev. We're at 14.3. A little bit more. Yeah, we're good. 14.3 volts, and we started out with 13, so we're definitely charging. See any leaks under the girl? I'm not too happy about how much she's smoking. Smoking the blue. Not sure what's up with that. This thing never smoked at all before. Okay, jump in your side. Let's go for a little driveway cruise. Oh wait, I got a wrench out there. All right.
Want to go for a walk?
Go for a walk. Close your door. Our seating provisions are sweet. We won't be doing no crazy hot dogging too much, but you want to hold this or what? You gonna hold this puppy?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, hold her up so we can see. See if she goes in gear good here. Okay, here's drive. Oh yeah.
Got the blinkers on, Dad.
Hazards are on. Should probably leave them on because we are a hazard in this thing, aren't we? See if we got power. Oh, we got some power, buddy. Oh, there's Ponchy out on the driveway. Oh yeah! This thing's Ronchy. Feels like she's got Ponchy already.
What's that noise?
Oh, those are just my wrenches. Oh, this is gonna be fun, eh?
Yeah, drive her
Hold
in
it
the
up a
bushes,
bit.
Dad.
Drive her in the bushes.
Yeah.
Here, do a donut in the grass here. Oh, holy shit! You're gonna hang on to this old girl.
Yeah.
Just did Ponchy'd out, no problem, man. I wonder if there's something in the diff or something in this thing.
Yeah, we gotta check that burnout out.
Yeah?
Let's see if
Hang on. Oh, this thing is gonna be awesome, dude. Oh yeah, she rips. I'm not liking the smoking, but you can't quite see it on camera that good, but she rips pretty good, eh? In the weeds? Well, we almost had her in the weeds over there. Holy shit. Let's go back to the shop and check everything, check the tranny oil, make sure everything's good. Okay? Here you go. You got her? Holy shit. This thing mobs, dude. Let's see if it'll pause you out here. It pauses out, man. Oh, he stalled it.
Switches are on.
Like, does this thing have a posi in it or what?
It has a posi in it.
I don't know, man. It sure feels like it. But it only has one tire that's melted off. That's why I always thought it was just a single track. But clearly she posied out. So what are we leaking? I see something down here. That's antifreeze. Frickin' sweet, eh?
Let's shut this thing down now.
No, let's check the trans oil after that drive. Oh no. Yeah, our blow-by tube fell off. All right, back from test drive number 1.
Yeah, number 1. Red.
Watch out, there's oils that drip under there. I think this is all just water that I sprayed earlier. Temperature gauge not working as far as we can tell. Should have tested that before I put it in. And upon the first heavy push of the brakes, we popped the brake line. So that is rather unfortunate. And it doesn't look like it's the rubber one, of course. So it's on the other side of here, up top, the metal one. Oh man, that sucks. But that's why you do little test drives, I guess. That's gonna suck, man. Yeah. There it is.
Now that tire's gonna.
You want to grab my headlamp, buddy? Oh yeah, right on the corner. She's just super, super crusty. What's going to be miserable is changing this brake line. So it comes out, goes up. Oh, we're zoomed right in. Goes up right there, which looks solid there, but it's rusty over here. So we got some work to do here, building brake lines. Oh, it's a lower one. Son of comes up and over here. And the top one's a bit rusty here. But it's the bottom one that broke. I could almost flare it here and tie in. If not, I'm going the whole distance in this puppy. All the way to the distribution block, which is not what we want to be digging into. Don't see any tranny leaks, so that's good. Oh yeah, a tiny one on this little makeshift plug that's here, but probably just tighten that up or put some Teflon tape on it. Oh, we got, maybe not, it looked like, oh, that's antifreeze from that temperature sender. Yeah, buddy. It did single out on the road too, so she's not true posi like we dreamed. But I do have a mini spool for this if I want it. Although it seems to have enough power to just push through on this. Well, buddy, call her a day or what?
I'm thinking of putting a straight muffler out of the muffler, do exhaust that way so we could hook this thing up, screw it on.
How does it go?
That way.
Potato, 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 potato. If we had a beer, we'd have a beer, but we don't. Let's call her a day and go do something else and go check out the Ponchy burnout.
First video of drifting in the Ronchy.
I don't know, are they ready?
Yeah, they're ready. They're definitely ready. Sorry guys, was that too loud? Yeah, probably.
Got our new winter meats on the girl.
Washboarding her.
Here's a drift corner.
Drift corner, guys.
Running at good temperature for going all uphill. It's actually still kind of warm in here.
Yeah, it's almost past.
It's a little bit past 190, but that's alright.
The temperature is doing good.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, ready for our first drift, guys.
Let's go straight stretch. Hold it up.
Straight stretch.
Hold it up.
Last year's straight stretch. Yes, baby.
First gear's fun.
Yeah, got some snow over there.
Yeah, we got snow up in these hills.
Ah, squeaky. Squeaky
Our
McSqueaky
football
said.
shocks are doing pretty good. Hey?
Yeah, football shocks, guys. Get the film out of the window if you need it. Pretty snowy.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going way up here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a truck right on our drifting corner. Probably hunting. Rick, I was just going to drift this corner too.
Drift it. Testing.
It's working.
There we go.
Well, we're back for
We're back.
what'll be sort of the final installation of this video.
Today.
I noticed in editing that there's a bunch of stuff done to the car that I didn't even really cover. And I sort of gave up on the videos because the videos weren't downloading from iCloud properly. I didn't even think I was going to be able to salvage any of the footage from this. But we did eventually get it figured out. And yeah, there's a few things. Like I had mentioned earlier, that Malibu was going to donate a bench seat to this car, and it did just that. We bought the classic seat cover for it, cleaned it up. There is some shady repairs I did underneath because this bench seat was in rough shape.
Do you want to come see the lights on it?
No, turn them off, please. Also did the back bench seat. Had the dog in here. Did the old trick of undoing all the hog rings and pulling the seat cover off, throw it in the washing machine, and then just bought a little hog ring kit off Amazon and re-hog ringed it back, and turned out really good. The before and after is quite a difference. But we got full seat belts, all blue interior, which probably would have been close to the same. Also the carpet, that's another score. We took the full carpet out of that Malibu. I think even the floor mats. And the carpet wasn't too bad in that Malibu.
But yeah.
So we got a nice full interior pretty much, which is nice, eh? Just hung that carpet up on the wall outside, did the old pressure washer spray. Actually, a buddy of mine told me about a trick. You put like a palm sander or something on it, on the carpet, and it vibrates, like anything that'll vibrate. And I did that as it was hanging, and man, I had a fucking sand pit coming out of the thing. That works really good. Just when you think it's clean, you go put a palm sander on the thing, and yeah. Another thing we did is I originally had these chewy ass tires on a set of Oldsmobile Rallies. They're 7-inch wide 14s, and it was quite rubby. So I switched to these 6-inch wide 14s, and it's way better. These are like a 29, I think, side-by-side tire. Where's the size on it?
Hey, where's this?
Oh, 27. 27 by 11, rim 14. So once you put them on these 6-inch wide rim and you pump them up, they just go tall and round. So they're probably more like a 29, 30 or whatever.
Yeah,
But,
that's gonna cut this out a little bit.
No, actually it doesn't rub too bad. It rubs, well, it's rubbed here and there, peeled a little bit. I'm gonna hammer that back
Rub
up.
here and there and there and here.
It was lifted with our football lift in the back, but those popped and the springs probably sagged out even more, so it's real low in the back. I guess we have a jack and a couple spare tires in the back because we've been testing the rig, haven't we? Hey, buddy?
Preston.
We've been testing this rig out in the back roads.
Yeah.
It freaking does really good. We've taken this thing almost to the lakes up there, and there's 6 to 8 inches of snow, ungraded, unplowed roads, and this thing just chews. If we had someone with us with a 4x, we'd probably be braver. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned I swapped the hood on to this car from the other car. Yeah, I probably did. Yeah, what else? I could smell something cooking, buddy. It's starting to smell hot. I think our shovel handle's dried out here. Trying to film? Hold on, I'm going over the last few things of the car for this video, and then we can wrap this video up.
Show the people the other videos in the car.
Yeah, we will, don't worry.
We do have this custom vent.
Yeah, that came
I was
yesterday.
gonna say that.
Originally, we had just a heater core plumbed in because I ripped all the stuff out, if you remember. And then I thought, well, that was dumb
Plugged in.
because we want to run this in the winter
Yeah.
and we're going to need heat. So we put this heater core in with a tiny little 12-volt fan in the back. And it did pretty good, but now it's after a few rides, I noticed, especially my side because I'm closer, windshield is fogging up. But
Sounds funny.
yeah, what can we hold to show them? Here, turn on the fan. So last night I rigged up this little thing. I sealed it to the fan and pointed it up to the windshield to keep it fog, because it does stay pretty warm in here. We got wind.
We got wind, people.
Yeah. Here's a toque. But yeah, a couple other luxury items we haven't shown yet is, again, the Malibu donated its whole light switch and wiper switch. So now we have headlights, wipers, all that. I tried to get the defog, but it was a different hookup. So we would have had rear defog as well. Yeah, that's about it. It's been running really good. I found out I didn't have power to my choke for those first couple little drives. So the choke wasn't opening all the way. But that's working now.
Let's go up to the field.
Yeah, that's going to be it for the Ronchy Ponchy video. It was originally the Ronchy Ponchy, and then Leo called it the Ronchy Ponchy, and I liked it.
Ronchy Ponchy.
Yeah, Ronchy Ponchy. So yeah, I'd say that wraps up this video. It's been a fun car. It's been working pretty good. I'll try and get more footage of us actually driving the car. There's a couple clips, but yeah, fun little beater project. And now it's all over but the fucking drifting now. Wait for more snow and have some fun. And I think I'll start working on that thing now. Accessory bracket time.